vacation trip to Oregon this year. Sound like fun? Well, here's a platter of fun-like sounds to help make your holiday begin on a happy note. So sit back and follow the soundtracks of Oregon. To help steer you through this colorful Northwest Passage, we've commissioned a few well-known guides like Bing Crosby, Jane Powell, and Mel Blanc. Yes, it takes a real Western tune to cover the bigness of Oregon, but it takes a man who has kept America singing to hear the real music of the Pacific Northwest country. Let Bing Crosby tell you about it.
I like to remember the Pacific Northwest as a land that can put a song in your heart. You know, when I was a kid, a song was usually carried in a sort of an off-key whistle, or through one of my missing teeth, which made the notes, of course, a little on the reedy side, the kind you might squeeze out of a freckled clarinet, but there was always some great counterpoint from the wind, whistling or whispering through the evergreens, or a paddle dipping in a lake. Since then, I've been drawn back to my Pacific Northwest by some more robust sounds. You know, like the thrashing of a hooked trout that didn't want to leave Oregon, and the smack of the ball heading down some of those cool green fairways. You know, I used to play one course up there with a Hollywood friend of mine, but Bob took so many divots, they finally put a sign on the gate. Abandon all hope, ye who enter here. He was hopeless. Anyhow, if you'd rather swing on a star, I just did, or gather moonbeams up in a jar, you can really be better off than you are by hitting the road to the Pacific Northwest. Boy, it's a great way to discover America.
Yes, hitting the Oregon Trail is a great way to discover America. For history hasn't been paved over in this big country. In fact, there are places where you can still see the ruts made by the covered wagons as they headed west along that historic trail. You'll find bends in the Columbia River framed just about the way Lewis and Clark saw them. And with a little imagination, you can walk quietly through McLaughlin House and see the shade of a fur trapper on hand to trade with the Hudson Bay Company. If you're more contemporary-minded, there's a host of regional spectator sports to enjoy, everything from colorful competitions of champion loggers to the thunder of that Old West classic, the rodeo.
Now,
And there's a new sound to be heard out in Oregon Central Valleys this year. The exciting charge of America's best racing boat drivers, competing for the National Stock Outboard Championships on Prineville Lake in mid-August. How much more is there to see on your Oregon holiday? To find out, we assigned one of our guides to conduct a survey in depth and futility. Listen now to the voices of Mel Blanc.
Pardon, monsieur. I have been hired by the French government to find out why so many American tourists are spending their vacations here in the state of Oregon. Are you a tourist? Si. Excellent. Perhaps then you can tell me what you find so attractive about Oregon. Is it the miles of magnificent ocean beaches, the lovely summers, the hundreds of state parks, the great rivers, the towering mountains? Si. But, monsieur, can you be more specific? Perhaps you like the fishing, or hikes through the forests, or the cowboys in the rodeos. Maybe it is the Mount Hood, the Crater Lake, or the beautiful rose gardens of Portland. Si. Monsieur, my government, the people of France, have sent me to America at great expense to discover the real secret of Oregon. What shall I tell them? Is there nothing I can say to them? Si. Come see.
Yes, come see. You'll find plenty of guideposts on this new Oregon Trail, lighthouses along 400 miles of seacoast, where morning mists disappear to unveil a Pacific surf unchanged since the days of Spanish explorers, and sentinel mountain peaks pointing the way to alpine campgrounds, resorts, and trout-stocked waters. Head cares off at the past with a visit to cattle country, There you'll discover Indian villages with rental teepees and dude ranches equipped with the original hi-fi, the harmonica. That was supposed to be the sound of a big salmon being boated at one of Oregon's many saltwater fishing holes. But it got away. No problem, though. You can find his cousin being served up in just about any one of Oregon's famed seafood restaurants. Stick around a while you're contemplating. We've got Jane Powell, a few strolling Shakespearean players, a bit of Haydn, and more sounds of Oregon on the other side.